Hello and welcome to the third lesson in the second session of our training. In here, we are dealing with Python, straightforward, without any curve or bend anywhere. So in this particular lesson, we're going to look straightforward into our algorithms we wrote in the first session. So we're going to express them in Python programming languages or in Python programming language. So let's look at how that is going to happen. And then before we do that, let's just go through the various algorithms. I've written them here. I'll be leaving them on a page on a Telegram platform so I can take them, go through them, you try them by yourself from time to time. This is how we learn Python actually. This is how we learn it. We learn it by doing. So that is that. So after this should open up a very big opportunity for you to read vast, can go through the Python library, and then by the time we finish with this course, surely you'll be able to know more about Python, and then anything at all that is written in Python programming in one way or the other, you can be able to explain certain things. Although not everything you can do, but then at least the huge part of it can be, you can explain that. So basically that is that. Now we have 16 programs to write here, and all these we're going to write them without a GUI, that is a graphical user interface. We're just going to write them and run them in the console for us to see the output and then how they are executed and all that. Where we are going to be writing our own softwares, that will be after this particular session. That will be the third session, and there we're going to write at least 3 or 4 basic softwares on our own with graphical user interface, which we can share with our friends for them to also enjoy on their machines without any issue. So let's look at that. So the first one we have is design an algorithm to find the perimeter and area of a rectangle. So since we have 16 problems here to solve, to write about, we're going to divide them into 2. The first, in this lesson, we're going to deal with the first 8. In the second lesson, we talk of the second 8, then we'll be good to go. So let's begin with the first one. So we're going to write design an algorithm to find the perimeter of a rectangle. So we know what we need here. We need the area, the length, and then the width to be able to get the area and then the perimeter of the rectangle. And don't forget, so I think you can pause this video here and try this by yourself. We have learned how to what? Take input from the users. So take input. The first input should be what? Take the length. Second one, you take the width, and then after taking the input, so you declare a variable called perimeter. Then you assign it to the results here, which is what? The 2 times what? The length plus the width. And then after that, you assign a variable called area, and then you assign it to what? You declare a variable called area, then you assign it to what? Length times the width. That will give you the area as well. Then after that, you print the result in the console. You can try this by yourself, and then you see the outputs, or you compare yours to what we are going to do. So now let's just dive right into it. So to start with, let's just get a comment here saying a program. So you can say a program to find the perimeter and area of a rectangle. Good. So we are good to go with this. Just a comment. So first of all, we need to take what? Input. So we say we need the length, right? So we declare length is equal to, so we say input. So since the length is going to be either a float or an integer, we might not know. A length can be 2.5, can be 10.7 or whatever. So to be at the safer side, let's declare it as a float. So length is equal to what? Float, then into brackets, then we say input, then you open the bracket again, you tell them what you want to. So you say enter length. So with this, we are good to go here. Enter length, right? So that is that. Let me run it and see why am I receiving this thing. Okay, well, it's working. Stop it. So the second input is going to be what? So you can just copy this, Control C, then just paste it, then we edit it, Control V here. So this would be what? Width. So we say float as well, so enter width. Good. So after taking the input, now we are going to process it now. So we say now we declare a variable called perimeter. perimeter is equal to, so you say 2 multiply by what, the length and then the width, right, into brackets, the length plus the width, so we say into brackets. So in here we're going to call the length variable and then sum it to what, the width variable. So we do that, length plus the width. So we are done with that. So this will give us the perimeter. So you say area, sorry, is equal to, that one is going to be length times what, the width, times width, and that should give us what, the area as well. So we are done with that. So after taking the input from the users, what they need to do is just to enter the length and enter the width. After that, when they run the program, they hit enter, it should process and display them the results. So after entering that, it will store whatever the user enters into this length variable, store whatever the user enters into this width variable. So now you can see that in this length variable there is something that is stored inside it, and what is it? It's a float. So whatever the user inputs will be stored here, and then that will be summed to whatever the user will input for the width, and then it will be summed and then multiply by 2, and that will give us the perimeter, and it will be stored in a variable called what, perimeter. Then after that, the same thing happens here in the variable area. The length that is input here and then the width which is input will be multiplied together. So we have float here, we have float here, so don't forget of that. So now let's go ahead and print the result. So we want to say print. So we would like to concatenate, so we would like to display something at the bottom and say the area or the perimeter of the rectangle is so and so centimeters, the area of the rectangle is so and so centimeters. So we start with the print statement and we say the perimeter, perimeter of the rectangle, rectangle is equal to, the perimeter of rectangle is, so we want to concatenate it to the variable perimeter. But don't forget, what is stored inside there is what, a float. But you know, we don't concatenate float to what, a string, as we've already seen. So we're going to deceive Python and say that, oh no, it's a string, so we say str. Other than that, let's check something here. We are concatenating, so plus, if I just type in the perimeter, let me just go ahead and do that. Then I'll type plus, so centimeter, right? Good. So perimeter is centimeter, area is centimeter square, don't forget of that. Okay, so let's see something here. Good. So with this you can see that it has been how will I put it, highlighted. This means there is an error. It said what, expected type is string and they got float instead. So it knows that what is stored here is float because we've already declared everything here to be float. So before we can deceive Python, let's just say, let's tell it that no, it's actually a string, so that it can take the concatenation. So we do that into bracket string, and then we'll be good to go. So I think, I'm sure you remembered what we did in the previous one. So you can just copy this as well. Then after that, we edit it. So we basically, so we change the perimeter to what, area. So the area of the rectangle is here to change area area centimeters square, right? So this should give us something like this, so square. Good. So let's run the program and see. So when we run the program, what should be the output here? The program will prompt us to what, enter the length of the rectangle. So let me say enter the length, enter length. Okay, enter the length, the length of the, let's just be clear, okay, of the rectangle. Here we say the width, that we don't confuse our users. So when we run it now, this should give us, prompt us to enter the length, then we do. You hit enter, it prompts you to enter the width, then you do. You hit enter, and then it will process and display the results for you. It will say the perimeter of the rectangle is then into. What we are doing here is we are concatenating this string to what? The variable what perimeter, which the results is stored. So here, what is going to be displayed here is the sum of the product of sum of what is going to be displayed here is what? The output of this after this has been processed. The answer we get is going to be stored here, and that is what is going to be displayed. So here we're going to be seeing a number here to the same thing. I pray you understand what I'm talking about. So let's run the program and see. So the length, let's say my length is 5, width is maybe 6. So you can see that the perimeter of what the rectangle is what? 22.0 centimeters, because we declare it as a float, and the area of the rectangle is what? 30 centimeters squared. So basically that is that. So this shouldn't be a problem. 30.0 centimeters squared, because we are seeing 22.0 and then because we declare them as a float, we should change everything to what? Integers, and run it to chop off these zeros. So let's just check that and see. So it's a int. So here to the same thing. Int. Cool. So let's run it now and see. So 7 as my length, 8 as my width. So you can see that it has chopped off the zeros now. So we have the perimeter of the rectangle is 30 centimeters, and we have the area of the rectangle is what? 56 centimeters. So basically this is how we can express our first algorithm in Python programming language. You can see how simple and cool it is. So for that, you should write the first program in Python which can be executed. So imagine this has been put like an app. So what the user has to do is after running or launching the program, you should prompt the user to enter something, right? So you enter whatever as your, maybe if it's 1,500 and whatever as your length, you do that. Then the width, whatever you do that, you enter them, then you hit enter, and then it displays the perimeter and then the area of your rectangle for you without any issue, without any stress. So I think that is that. So you can just do this by yourself, simple lines of code, and then you'll be good to go. Now let's proceed and then look at the next thing. The next line of action here is going to be what's that. The next algorithm, let's check. We have the design algorithm to find the circumference of a circle. So to find the circumference of a circle, we need the circle's radius, right? It is given by the formula, and then we declare variable called circumference. Then we multiply 2 by the pi, which is 1. The pi is always the same 22/7, right? Something like that stuff. So yes, it should give us something like 1.43 or something like that. I've even forgotten of this. A lot of things in mind, right? Let me see. 22 divided by 7. Good. 3.142. Good. I think 3.143 will be good for us here. So we're going to use that to get the circumference of our goddamn circle. So let's do that. Let's write the algorithm for that. Or let's express our algorithm in Python for this particular problem. We have to design an algorithm to find the circumference of a circle. So to do that, we need the area, so the radius of the circle, and then we use this formula to find the perimeter of the circumference of the circle. So let's do that. So you can clear this out, and then we're good to go. The program to find the circumference of a circle. Good. So we can just do this. So first of all, we take input, which is what we need, the area, the radius, right? So we declare variable called radius. Or you can pause this video and try it by yourself, which is also a very good practice. Radius is equal to, so we want to take it as a float. So we say input, enter the radius of the circle. So with this, we are good to go out. So we just need the radius, right? So we say circumference. So we declare variable is equal to 2 multiplied by is it 3.142, right? Something like that. Yes, 3.143 times 3.143 to be multiplied by times by the radius as well, by the radius. So we say radius, right? So let's see what's going to happen here. So here I'm getting this. Okay, it will work. Very good. So after that, they have to print out the circumference, right? So this is going to multiply 2 by 3.143, which stands for our pi, right? Because the formula is what, 2 pi r. That gives us what, the circumference, and then it will be multiplied by what, the radius as well. So it's going to be 2 times 3.143 times the radius the user is going to input here. So here what we need to do now is just to print out the result. So the print, so we call on the circumference. So we say we want to say the circumference of the circle is, so is okay. So we want to concatenate this to what's that? So we say circumference, so into brackets. You know what is happening here. This shouldn't be a problem by now. Circumference plus, right? So you see, then this should be a string. It should be centimeters, right? Good, centimeters. So good, that is that. So I think when we run this program, it should display, it should prompt us to enter the radius of the circle. And we do that. After entering the radius, then 2 is going to be multiplied by 3.143, then times the radius the user enters, and then to process this and then store the results in this variable called circumference. So we are calling on the variable here with this string to say to concatenate. We are concatenating the variables and circumference here to these strings and this particular string. So this will display something like the circumference of the circle is so and so centimeters. So let's run this program and see the output. So let's run it. Radius of the circle is, let's say, 7. So the circumference of the circle is 44.001 or whatever, blah blah blah, things like that. So you can see how cool the program looks like and all that. So without any problem, without any issue or something like that stuff. So basically, I think that is that. That is that. So we are good to go here. So now I think there shouldn't be a problem. So let's run it once more and then enter another thing. Let's see. 67 as then. So run it. So basically that is that. Prompt us to what? Circumference of the circle is 42.1. Whatever. So we are good to go in here. Basically that is that. Now let's look at the next thing we're going to do. The next algorithm is we are to write an algorithm to convert weight from kilograms to pounds. So by this, at this time, we should be able to even do the rest, because it's very simple now, without any issue, without any problem anywhere. So basically that is that. So let's see how that works for us. So before we do that, we need to take the weight. So we are converting weight from kilogram. We need to take the weight in kilograms and we convert it to what, in pounds, right? So basically that. So to do that, we divide the given weight by what? 0.45. So weight divided by 0.45 will give us, will convert the weight from kilograms to pounds. So basically that is that, LBS. So let's do that. A program to convert a given weight from kilogram to pound. So we prompt the user to enter what? Weight. So you say weight. This is equal to, so we're taking it as a float, right? And our input keyword. Then we prompt the user, say enter weights. So the user enters the weights. So we then take the weight. So you say weights. So we need to declare a variable called, now the weight that is going to enter here, say enter weight in kilograms. Okay, in kilograms. So after the user does this, so the next thing that's going to happen is this: we're going to take this, and process it. Oh gosh, do this action. Oops. So now we need to declare a variable, maybe call it weight in pounds. Good. So it's a weight. So let's see how we can name this variable here. Our practice involved in naming variable has come here once again. So weight in pounds is equal to the weight the user will input in kilogram. That is the weight variable divided by 0.45. So from here we can print into brackets. We are printing what? Weight in pounds. We print the weight in pounds is equal to weight in pounds. Basically, that is that. Sorry, this should be the weight in pounds is, so we concatenate this to say plus. So this should be a string. You should receive Python here once again and say that will be plus. It should be a string LBS, which means pound. Sorry. Okay, this is a pounds. So now what we are doing here is this. As usual, you already know what is going on here. We declare a variable called weight, which the user is going to input in kilograms. So prompt the user to do that, and going to be a float. Then after that, we take the weights which the user enters in kilograms. We declare a variable called weight in pounds, which is equal to what? Weight divided by 0.45, because that is what our algorithm stated. We divide the given weight in kilogram by 0.45, and that gives us what? Weight in pounds. So we declare a variable called weight in pounds. You can see how I name my variables. Let's follow these practices and everything will be perfect for us. So it's a print the weight in pounds is, then it will then concatenate the results here. After processing this, it's going to be stored in this variable and then to be displayed as a float. And then plus, and then this will be attached to it. We call it pounds. So it will be maybe 45 pounds or something like that. So let's run it and see. So we have to enter the weight. So it's a 50. So the weight in pounds is what? 111.111 pounds. So basically that is that. So what you need to do after running the program is the program will prompt you to enter your weight in kilograms. So you enter 50. After entering 50, so you hit enter, then it should display the weight in pounds is blah 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 blah, and that is what. So let's run it once again and enter another thing to, let's say 100. So 222.22222 pounds or whatever. So that is how the program is rating. So let's move on to our third algorithm. Or is it the third or fourth? So 1, 2, so third. So we are done with the third. So the fourth one, we have to design an algorithm to find the age of a user. So to find the age of a user using the birth year and the current year, subtract the year of birth from the current year. That's age is equal to what? Current year minus what? Birth year. So to find the age of a user, we subtract year of birth from what? The current year. So basically that is that. So let's go ahead and then execute this particular program. So don't forget we are subtracting what? The year of birth from what? The current year. So let's do that. So we can just okay, let's see. Okay, so a program to calculate the age of a user. So first of all, we need to take an input from a user, which is what? The birth year. So we name it birth year. So we say birth year. So it's birth year, which is equal to, so we take it as an integer, int into bracket. So input keyword, check. input keyword. So we say enter your year of birth. So after entering that, we need to declare a variable called age and store the output or the result inside it. So age is equal to what? So we say birth year minus what? Current year, right? We subtract the current year from what? The birth year. So let's confirm the algorithm. Yeah, we subtract the year of birth from the current year. So basically that is that. Now here we have something to look at. So should we take the current year as well as an input, or because we know the current year already, we should just type in the current year and subtract the birth year from the program? Now this here is the catch. Is the program going to be used within only 1 year? If yes, then you can just type in the name, the current year there, and then you subtract the birth year from that. But if it is going to be used forever, years changes, right? Currently we are in 2021, next year 2022, in that order. So why don't we create or take another input from the user for the user to input what? The current year. So let's do that as well. I think that would be the best. What I'm saying is this. I'm sure you understood. We can say something like this. Maybe age is equal to the birth year. Let me confirm again. Yeah, current year. So we say current year is what? 2021 minus what? Birth year. Good. So with this, I think when we print, say your age is, so we concatenate it plus this. So automatically what is going to be stored here is going to be an integer, right? So but we don't concatenate integer with string, so we plus str into brackets. So we bring our age variable here, and we then concatenate it to years old, or maybe whatever. So your age is 27. Okay, so I think that is okay. So this program looks good. So let's run it now and see before we come back to what I'm talking about. Birth year is what? 1989, right? So let's run it. So my age is what? 32. Good. So if that is the case, if this age, my age is 32. So now we can use this particular program if we are going to just use it within 2021. But then what if it's a program that is going to be used forever? It's an app. So years changes, right? We are in 2021, next year 2022. So in that case, we need to take an input from the user, which is what? A current year. So then right, let's look at that as well. So declare variable for current year. So that is equal to what? Also an integer. So take input from the user. So what? Enter the current year. So after that, year, we're going to change this to what? Current year. So we are good to go now. So here we are just going to be, we can type in the year after, since the program cannot be used forever, can be in 2021, 2020, 2022, 2025, or whatever can be. So let's see how that happens. The birth year is 1967, and the current year is 2025. So the age is what? 58. So let's run it once more and check. Try changing things here. Year of birth is what? 1956, and then the current year is what? 2030. So the age is what? 74. So basically that is that. So depending upon how the program is going to be used, it's going to be used within a year, and afterwards it's going to be thrown away. Then you can choose to type in the current year there by itself by default. But then if you don't, if you think it's going to be used forever, then I think this should be the best way to go about it. So that is that. We are done with the fourth algorithm. So let's look at the fifth algorithm. We are to write an algorithm to implement the following: convert weight from pounds to kilogram. I think you can do this by yourself. After doing the other one, we can do this by ourselves. So this should be our assignment. Or should we do it once again? Well, let's do it together. It's very nice to do it together. So here we're going to design algorithm to what? To convert weight from pounds to kilograms, right? So basically, before we do that, we multiply the weight by what? 0.45, as previously we divided by what? 0.45 to convert from kilograms to pounds. So now from pounds to kilograms, we multiply the weight by 0.45. So don't forget of that. From pounds to kilograms, right? So to do that, we're going to look at this. Let's say, first of all, just take input from the user. That is what. So we see weights. Once again, we use the weights keyword here. It's equal to. So it's going to be what? Float, right? So inputs. So from the user to enter weights in pounds. If the user does that, then we take the weight. So we say what? Weights in kilograms is equal to weights times 0.45. I think we are done. So we say print the weight in kilograms is concatenated to plus str keyword or str function. Then we have this here. What is going on here? Getting some error here. Didn't concatenate this. Good. So first of all, we declare variable where the input is going to be stored, and which is the weight. So from there, we prompt the user to enter, and then we talk of the data type, which is the float. We prompt the user to also do what? You enter what? The weight in pounds. So the user does that. After that, we take that and then multiply by 0.45, and that will give us weight from kilograms to pounds. So this will display the weight in kilograms is what? Blah 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 blah. Kilograms. So basically that is that. So let's run it and see. So this is very cool. After writing your algorithms on chalkboard with your students, you can write this all the way without the GUI, that is a graphical user interface, but you can run them in a console and see how interesting it is. How you just write, combine these things, and then, by the way, here is the catch. Let's just digress a bit. We said the computer understands all the zeros and ones. So what do you think is going on here? Now we are writing things that are not zeros and ones. So what is happening here? Why is the computer understanding this? So you should know that there is what? An interpreter in this text editor that is interpreting this to what? Zeros and ones for the computer to what? Assimilate and understand. Basically, this shouldn't be a problem. This should be a walkover for you guys now without any issue. So let's run our program. So enter weight in what? Pounds. So we do that, right? So 50, maybe 222. Hit enter. So that gives 99.9. So basically that is that. So the weight in kilograms is what? 99.9 kg. So this is working perfectly. So I think that is that. Very cool. So let's look at the next algorithm. So let's just check. So we have to find the year of birth of a user using their what? Age and current year. So we subtract the age from the current year as well. So we are going to find the age of a user using what? What's the name? uh, Using the the age and then the current years. Please, sorry, forgive me for this. My mind is just somewhere a bit. Sorry for that. Good. So this is just the algorithm. So let's go and implement it or express it in Python. So let's do that quickly. So to do that, we are subtracting age from the current year. Take note of that. So a program to calculate the age, the birth year of a user, right? We prompt the user to enter the current year and then the age. So that is that. So we first of all take the current year is equal to, so it's going to be an integer, right? Integer. We take input. So say what? Enter the current year. And you see declare variable called age. So you say is equal to, say age is also an integer. So into brackets input from the user to enter your age. Then after that, we declare variable called birth year. It's equal to current year. And is age. You say print your year of birth is. The year of birth is plus we are concatenating it to what? Birth year, right? Into brackets birth year. Good. So I think we are done with this. So first of all, we take the input from the user, which is the current year. The user enters the current year. We prompt the user to enter the current year. Prompt the user to enter the age. Then we take this to declare variable where the birth year is going to be stored in, because that is what we need. Assign it to a value after subtracting the age from the current year. Then it's going to be stored in here. So we run the program. So we say print the birth, the year of birth is, so plus we are concatenating it to what the birth year is. So let's run it and see. So we have to enter the current year 2021. Age is 32. So I was born in 1989. So initially you saw what happened when we entered 1989 or whatever. We were trying to calculate the birth. What was the name? The birth. What was that? The year of birth. Oh no, we were trying to calculate the age rather. So when we try to subtract 1989 from the current year, we got 32. So here is the vice versa of that. So I think this is working perfectly. You can try it over and over again, and then that will be it. It's going to be the same story. So do you know we can combine all this together and make it an app? So it's going to be like a unit converter. Can convert this from this, can convert that from the back. We haven't got to that level yet, but if we like, we can do that. So let's see how that goes. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the next algorithm. 6. A music purchase program. So we are to take an input from the user to enter the number of songs they put in. So we multiply the number of songs by the price per song. Please, I think it should be. You can do this right. You can do that by yourself. I think you can do this by yourself. You can do this by yourself. You can do this by yourself. I think it would be good to go here. Okay, let's write it. Is that the 6th one, right? So music purchase program. So let's write it. Let's write it. A music purchase program. Yes. So in here, enter the number of songs, right? Good. So we declare variable called number of songs purchased. This is equal to, should be an integer. Good. So we say inputs. Sorry, it's going to be a string. Enter the number of songs purchased. So the user does that. Then after that, we take it. So we want to calculate the amounts it is going to pay after buying this. So the user enters this, then we multiply the price. So one of the songs is what, 0.99 per sweat. So we multiply that by the number of songs to give us what, the price is going to what pay. So the price. So it's a declare variable called price is equal to number of. So we'll call this multiply by 0.99. We already know the price per song, which is what, 0.99. So we don't need to declare a variable to make anything like that. So we want to print out the price, right? So after the user enters the number of songs, which may be 25, it's going to be multiplied by unit, that is a unit per song, the price per song. So that is what is happening here. So we want to print statement and say you will have to pay, you need to pay. So let's display something like you will pay, you'll pay. So then we call the price, we concatenate this to the price. So SDR into brackets price, and we concatenate it to I want to say something. I want the output should be like you will pay 5 Ghana cedis for so and so number of songs purchased. See what I'm trying to display for the user to see. So I'm trying to do this. So you will pay 25 cedis for, so this should be a string again, for 25 number of songs for, okay, we are concatenating this to another string here, which is number of songs. So this, you will pay 25 cedis for 15 number of songs. So I'm concatenating this to what, a number of songs, plus, so this, number of songs purchased. Good. So this will display something like you will pay 25 cedis for 15 number of songs purchased, right? So the user will input the number of songs, take it and then multiply it by the price per song, then this displays for us. So let's see. So I'm done buying. So after that, I've entered the number of songs, maybe 45 pieces of songs. Good. So you say I will pay what? You will pay 44.5. Why wouldn't I put something like Ghana cedis over there? So let me check on that. You can see that the 4 is joining with what 55 because of this. So let's separate it from there. Good. So I would like to add this in here. Ghana cedis stuffs here, right? So concatenate this to so share that plus here, right? Plus let's see. Okay, it should come here right now. gosh, let me check out this. Do my errors. Good. So I would want to display the Ghana city staffs here, right? It should be a string. I don't want something like that stuff. Gosh. Plus here. Good. So let me just check something. Good. So this will display something like you will pay 44.55 Ghana cedis for 45 number of songs purchased. Sorry. Let's run the program. Okay, number of songs, let's say 23 or maybe 100 number of songs, 100. So I will pay what? 99 Ghana cedis for 100 number of, so you can see 100 is joined with number. So why don't I just do this? Let's run it once again. 100 number of songs, 100. So you will pay 99.0 for 100 number of songs purchased. Good. So this displays for the user to see that this is what I'm paying for the number of songs I bought for this. Yes, so that is that. If you like, you can add a lot of text in a string here to display. Maybe another print statement says that this is because each song is okay. Let's do that. This looks nice. This is how we play with our codes and programming. Yes, sir. So we say because each, oh gosh, why? Because each song is 0.99. You guys, this is space race, right? The 99. This was good. What was that? Ooh. How do we spell that? Please help me out. Okay. Yeah, sure helps. Is that it at all? Hey, God. How do we spell Persuades? Whatever, please. Forget about this. Just make it P here. That'll be good. Then spell Persuades. Oh shit, forgive me for this one, please. This is becoming too big. Good. Because each song is what? 0.99p. That is Persuades, right? In cash. PESSA. Is that it? It's okay. Let's see how it goes. Oh my goodness. So let's run the program and see now. So let's say we are buying maybe 100 number of songs again. Sorry, 100 number of songs. So you will pay 99.0 Ghana cedis for 100 number of songs purchased because each song is 0.99 pesos. So you can try to play with your codes like this and all that. Please, I'll go and check the spelling of pesos in the dictionary. I even have a dictionary here. Please, I'll check. Forgive me for that. Sorry. So that is that. Now let's see how you're going to write the next algorithm. So please, you can try entering the number of songs, run the program over and over again, and then you're good to go. Let's see the next algorithm. Now our next algorithm is trying to write a program in Python. So we wrote it in pseudocode. So now it's going to be in Python, where we're going to find the profit or loss on an item bought in a shop. So this is going to involve some decision making here, right? Where we'll be using if statement. So we'll see how we express if statement here as we did in our pseudocode and all that. So what is going to happen is this: we are taking two input from the user, that is the selling price and then the cost price. So after taking this, then we make our decision. Profit is as a result of what do you call it? Selling price minus what? Cost price. That is when we get a profit. It will happen that the cost price will be what? Maybe more than the selling price. In that case, you have lost, right? So we need to take care of all that. It will happen that whatever the user inputs for cost price may be higher than the selling price, which shouldn't be so. But if it happens like it means you have lost, you have no profit. And for that matter, the program should display and tell you that sorry, you have lost, you have no profit. But if you have a profit, the program should display and tell you the profit you had on the sales. So basically that is how the program is going to be. So we take two inputs, first one the selling price, second one the cost price and all that. So basically let's go ahead and then execute that. So we say selling price, so we assign it to, so it's going to be a float, right? Float. So into brackets, so we say inputs, so we say enter the selling price. So we do it this way. Selling price. So the user does that. So we declare another variable called cost price, and then we assign it to another float. So take input from the user, say enter cost price, so this and all that. So basically now you're going to make a decision. It will happen that the cost price will be what? Greater than the selling price, which like I said shouldn't happen. So now let's make a decision. So we say if selling price is greater than cost price, so that is what we want to be able to get a profit. If selling price is greater, it should be greater than the cost price. So we say what? We calculate profit. We call on profit here and then store it in a variable called profit is equal to what? So we say selling price minus what? Cost price. Then we go ahead and print and display something and tell the user the profit he has gotten. So we say your profit is, we concatenate this to maybe then we concatenate it to string here, which is the profit in this case, and you know why. Then we then concatenate this to whatever again. So the profit is so and so. Good. So I think we are done with this. So when the user gets a profit, that is if the selling price is more than the cost price, that is when the user gets profit. But what if the user didn't get a profit? That is when the cost price becomes more than the selling price. In that case, you have lost. So we say else means you have lost, and for that matter something should happen. Else means print message like oh sorry, you have no profit. Else means that if the selling price is either equal to, or if it's not greater than cost price, then it means it's either equal to or less than cost price. And for that matter, cost price is more than the selling price here in this case. And since that happened, it means you have lost. So the program to tell you that sorry, you have no profit, you have lost. So comma, you have lost since the cost price exceeds the selling price. Good. So I want the program to tell you this. So let's run it and see. So selling price is, let's say, 400 Ghana cedis. Then the cost price, let's say 300 cedis. So you say your profit is 100 Ghana cedis. Good. So the program is working perfectly. Let's see what happens if the cost price is more than the selling price. So the selling price is what? Maybe 200 Ghana cedis. Then the cost price is, let's say, 500 Ghana cedis. Oh, sorry, you have no profit, you have lost. Since the cost price exceeds the selling price, the program is working perfect. So basically that is that. Let's just go over again. We declare variable called selling price. This shouldn't be a problem by now. Please and please and please and please So the only problem here is the decision making point. So this is the decisional type, right? So we make a decision because we don't know what the user will input for selling price and cost, so we have to decide for that. So if selling price is greater than cost price, so it means the person has gotten a profit, and for that matter, we declare a variable called profit and then process it here. So we subtract the cost price from the selling price, and then from there we print the profit. As you know, we concatenate the string to this particular the profit we have gotten here. So that displays the profit for the user to see. But if it happens that the cost price, if the selling price is not greater than cost price, then it means it's either equal to or less. And for that matter, the cost price is greater than selling price. And if that happens, it means you have lost. So the program should say, sorry, you have no profit, you have lost. And then it goes ahead and tells you that since the price exceeds, the cost price exceeds the selling price. So you can try entering the values over and over again and see how it goes. So this brings us to the end of this particular program again. So let's proceed and check on the last algorithm, that is the eighth one. Eighth algorithm says write algorithm is to take a score as an input from the user and display remarks for each score. So this is serve as a little program for maybe grading our student or something like that stuff. So we can call it a grading system program. A grading system program. Grading system program. So this too, we're going to take input from the user, and it's going to be just one input. Then we make decision on it. Enter the grade. I'm saying it, and the grade is going to be you enter the score, then we give you your grade, and then the remarks if possible. So basically that is that. So let's see. This is how the program is going to be. If the user gets 80 to 100, then the user had an A, right? From 80 to 100 is A. So we're going to make it very simple, right? From 70 to 80, or from 70 to 80 you had B. From 60 to from 70 to 79 B. Then from 60 to 69 C, in that order. So so let's check on that. After that, you can just go into the curriculum and check how the grading system is done, and you implement it here. So we take input as score. So it's a score. We declare variable called score is equal to. So it's going to be a float, because score can be 0.95.5 or whatever float. So we say input. So we say enter score. So the user does that. So we begin manipulating the score by making decision on it. So we say if score is greater or equal to 80, what should happen? So we want to print excellent, right? So else if. So in Python, come in please. In Python, we don't write for else if, or if else or whatever is written for short as this elif, L-E-I-F, elif. Which means else if it is not this and it is this, that is what we are talking about. Else if we saw it in our pseudocodes and all that, so this shouldn't be a problem number. Just that the syntax in Python, it is written as what? Elif. This means else if and all that. So else if or elif score is also greater or equal to 70, right? Greater or equal to 70. Good. So we should display as a print. Very good, right? Very good. Good. Elif score is greater or equal to 6, that is 60, 60, from 60 to maybe, I'll explain this when I'm done. And you say print something like good, right? Good. If score is greater or equal to 50, prints credits. And if score is greater or equal to 40, prints pass. And finally, else print fail, or some should be a string, fail, and all that. So I think what's going to happen here is that when the user input a score, take the score, store it in a score variable, make decision with it. We decide the first. If score is greater or equal to 80, it means from 80 to what? 80 and above. So in this case, the user can put, you and I know very well that the percentage we normally score is 100 and all that. So why don't I make it that catching another error somewhere? Okay, let's see how it goes before we come to that. So, and then if the user inputs something like, if the user gets something like maybe 70 and above, since we've already catch up to 80 here, 70 will not exceed, what's the name? 79 will not exceed this. So since we've already catch up to 80 here, this one will stop at 80 and then it will display B. We've already catch 70, this one will stop at what? 69. We've already catch 60, this one will stop at 59 and all that. So that is how the program works. So let's enter score like let's say 89. Oh, excellent, right? Okay. Let's enter 75. Oh, very good. Let's enter 62. Okay, good. Let's enter 53. Oh, okay, credits. Let's enter 41. Oh, okay, pass. Let's enter 39. Oh, sorry, fail. Now let's enter 110. Sorry, oh, sorry. I don't know what I've just done. 110. Also excellent. Now here is the catch. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So we can catch this if we like. Although you and I know very well that our score is what? From 100 to 0 or whatever, isn't it? But it can happen that the user enters, maybe by mistake, the user wants to type 100, and then the user enters something like this, 110, without knowing. Why don't we catch that? So we can also do that and say elif score is greater than 100, then it should print value error. Enter score from 100 and below. So we say print error. The score, should not exceed 100. So simple as that. So I think with this, when we enter something above 100, it should be able to catch it for us. So let's go ahead and execute the program. Let's enter 120. Wow, it's still saying excellent, right? So let's see, let me check. If it is greater than 100, print this. Okay. Okay, so let me just okay, our codes are running line by line, right? Okay, let's just check this now. Let's check this out here. So we're going to make it from here. So we say if score is greater than 100, display that initially first. Let's check that and see if score is greater than 100. Sorry, I want you to display this for me. Value error. Score should not exceed 100. Let me just think of something else before we see if it will work. Why don't we do it this way? Score is okay. Let me check something first, please. A lot of things coming in the mind now. Yes. Okay, so let's check. If score is greater than 100, so print. So let me run this first and see, please. Let me enter this and see. Okay, value error. Score should not exceed 100, right? It has worked for now, but then I'm just thinking of another alternative, please. So you can see that vendor 112, the value of score should not exceed blah blah blah, things like that. So let's see. Elif. Score is greater or equal to 80. Print. Excellent. So let me just type in run it and type in 100 here now. Let's see. Excellent. Okay, let me type in 110 now. Yes, it's working. Let me just type 65. Good, it's working, but I'm just looking for the alternative to see. So first of all, let's see what's happening here. Like we said, our codes are running line by line, right? We've already said here that if the score exceeds is greater or equal to 100, so when we put in without this line of code here, when we put in something above 100, it will still print excellent, because this code has to run before the rest. So the moment the codes begin running, it realizes that, oh, the value here is more than 100, so I can print excellent. And that was what happened over there. So to catch that, there is one way of catching that. I think this is one way we can catch that using this. So this is working now. Let me check the other alternative. So we can use this before you proceed and begin checking for your normal score. Tell them that if it happens like this, if the score exceeds 100, greater than 100, print and tell them value error, score should not exceed 100. So it will work as you saw. But then I don't want this. It's not bad, please. I'm just trying out the alternative. Okay, it's perfect. You can take it like this and then all that. So I'm just checking out the alternative. I don't want something like this. I don't want it like this, but there's no problem with it. So I just want to challenge myself and try something else. So let me chop off all this line of code here. If the score is, I'll say, let me try this, less than or equal to 100. Equal to 100. Let's say print. Sorry, I'm checking something, please. Print excellent. Oh, the shit. Okay, good. Less than or equal to 100. Print excellent. Let me check and see. Let me type 100. Excellent. Let me type 50. Wow, it's telling me excellent. And because I've made a decision here, I said what? If it's less than or equal to 100, right, it should be excellent. So because 50 is also less than 100, so it should be excellent. So it displays excellent. So it means the previous one should be the key. So let's go ahead and check on that. I think I can edit this. Okay, undo. Okay, yes, undo the actions, and then I think we are going with the first one. Or if there is an idea you think we can do to improve this, go ahead and bring it. That is how programming works. Yes. Good. So we can catch our error here. That is, if the user inputs something above 100, program will yell at them and display them to them as a value error score should not exceed 100, and that is that. So let's run it once more. 109 1990. Oh, sorry. So that is that. Run it, enter 100 or maybe 98. Select. Enter 100. Excellent. Enter 50. Great. So I think our program is working perfectly. So this will bring us to the end of the first half of expressing our algorithms in a Python programming language. So I advise you to practice this over and over and over again and become conversant with it before. Now next lesson we're going to complete the rest 8, and some of the algorithms in the rest, in the last 8, we didn't write them in the pseudocode and all that. So, but then it's just the same story here. I decided to add them here just like that, so that we can have more examples to work on for deep understanding. So basically that is that. So I think I will say thank you very much for watching, and then bye for now. See you in the next lesson.